afternoon, Decluttering Club. Today, we're going to talk about why you can't declutter. Have you ever said, I just can't, right? I can't, it is too much, I can't. That's what we're going to talk about today. I think this is something that, that we need to spend a little time on. I don't think we've done this in a while. So that is the topic of today's video. And if you are joining me live, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. If you're joining me on the replay, just drop a hashtag replay in the comments. And I want to tell you a little story. Okay, so a lot of you know I have 4 boys, right? 4 boys, and my youngest is William, and he is 10 years old, almost 11. Okay, 11 years old in a couple weeks. And so last week, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, I said, William, you know, you need to do your laundry, right? Your laundry basket is full. It is time to do the laundry. And he was like, oh, right. Like, not happy about this. And since he is 10, almost 11, I don't completely trust him with the laundry. So I supervise. I want to supervise that this happens. And, but you know, it's his job, right? It's his responsibility to get his laundry done, but I am available for help, for suggestions, et cetera, right? So I said, okay, you know, you need to do this before you get back on your tablet, right? Before you get back on your iPad. Okay, Mom, right? And then I go downstairs to take care of something, right? We're kind of in the middle of like Saturday chores and getting some things done. And then I go back upstairs about 20 minutes later, and what do I see? But young William sitting on the love seat in my room, and he's on his tablet. And I was like, hello, excuse me. Was I not clear what's going on here? Okay. And oh, I should also add that the laundry made it to the top of the stairs. Okay, so it's sitting at the top of the stairs. And he says to me, oh, I couldn't find you, Mom. So I couldn't do it. I was like, really? Okay. How hard did you try to find me? Right? I didn't hear any, you know, I didn't hear him call out. He didn't bring it downstairs to the washing machine. There wasn't a whole lot of effort going on, right? I couldn't find you, Mom. I couldn't do this job because I couldn't find you. I'm like, nice try. Nice try, right? But this is what kids do, right? And this is our job as adults, as parents, to say, okay, that was a nice try. Let's go take care of this. And by the way, okay, you just lost your tablet for a little while because you knew the drill and you completely ignored me. Okay, so so we got the laundry done. It was all fine. But I tell you this story because, you know, he had a very, in his mind, he had a good excuse. He had a good reason for not doing, you know, he knew what he was supposed to do. He just couldn't do it. I couldn't find you, Mom. Couldn't do it, right? That was his reason, which is really an excuse, right? I said, okay, that's not how life works, right? If you have something you need to do, you don't just stop at the drop of the hat. You know, there's a little tiny bump in the road and you don't just stop and forget about it until someone comes along and rescues you. That's not the way it works. But I think that's what happens, right? That is what people do. And I have been hearing a lot of this from some people, particularly on a couple posts that we have on Facebook recently. People are telling me things like, I can't come to your challenge because I'm going to be away for 2 of the days. And I'm like, and you're going to be away for 2 days. It's a 7-day challenge. So what's the problem? Right? I can't do it. I'm not going to be here. Right? But this kind of thing comes up a lot. Right? So I'm curious, and I promise you this is not meant to make anybody feel bad. This is not, but I just really want to shine some light on this because we all do it. Right? We all do this. We all have our excuses, right? Your excuses may be different than mine, but we all have them because we're humans, by the way. But it's really good to notice what they are, and then we can do something about them. So I want to know from you all in the comments, let me know what are some reasons that you have used to say that I can't declutter. Right? I can't declutter, whether it's like today or like at all. Let me know, drop them in the comments. Let me know what are some reasons, excuses that you have said in the past that have prevented you from decluttering. And I want to say hi to a bunch of you because I haven't caught up with the comments yet. So good to have you all here. Hi, BB. I can't isn't in my vocabulary. Ooh, that's a good one, BB. Love it, love it. Hi from Texas. Sharon said, I only had daughters, but I think this should be the same with sons. Yep, my kids, I have 4 boys. They all do their own laundry. I'm only involved with the one, and as a supervisor, right? That's my job. Kids are very creative, yes. Okay, have to babysit. In my case, it's mostly my husband. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. That's a good one. I don't have enough time. But I'm too tired. Yep, absolutely. Those are so good. Yes. And, you know, like it may be true, right? It may be true that I don't have enough time. It may be true that I'm tired, that you're tired, right? That could be a thing, but that shouldn't mean that you can't do it at all. Okay, so here's some of the ones that I have seen. Oh, it's a good one. It's too late to start today, right? Memories are attached to it, right? The task is too big. Yes, I'm too overwhelmed. I'm paralyzed. Got to do this before that. Yes, absolutely. My husband will not part with anything. Oh, yeah. So again, these are all just, you know, I mean, they may be reasons, but when we say, you know, I'll be away for 2 days out of the 5, or, you know, it's too late today, we're really just preventing ourselves from getting what we want, right? And so I want us to notice this and, you know, just see this for what it is, right? Because so what if it's, you know, so what if we don't have time? Well, do we want this or not, right? So I don't have time. This is a story that we're telling ourselves, right? I don't have time. I don't have any time, right? Is this a fact? This is not a fact, right? This is a story. This is a thought that you may be having. And I bet if you said to yourself, when do I have time? Do I have 10 minutes, right? We're famous for the 10-minute decluttering session. Everybody can find 10 minutes. Maybe not today, but how about tomorrow, right? When do I have time is so much more useful than I don't have any time, right? Because, you know, who's going to argue with that? You know, yeah, you're busy, you're working, you know, you've got a lot of things on your to-do list. Like, it sounds true. It sounds true, and I'm not going to argue with someone when they say I don't have any time. But I'm going to say, how is that story serving you, right? Do you like the results that you are getting, or do you want to start telling a different story? Which may be, I've got a lot of things to do, and also, this is important to me, so I'm going to figure out how to make it happen. Totally different, right? Could be the same person, same to-do list, same amount of energy, same commitments, but totally different attitude and totally different outcome as a result, right? So important to notice this. The stories that we are telling ourselves in our heads are, you know, going to influence what we do, and as a result, what comes out of that, right? So we got to fix the story, okay? A couple that I hear a lot, I don't feel like it. I'm waiting until I have energy, right? Or, you know, I'm just too tired, right? So if you have worked, you know, on your feet for 12 hours, 10 hours, whatever, like, okay, I get it. You could be tired. But are you waking up on a Saturday and saying, I am just too tired. I just don't feel like it, right? I don't feel like it is not a good reason to not do something, right? It really isn't. And, you know, some of y'all might be unhappy with me for saying this, but it's true, right? Like, you're probably not going to feel like doing something that is a chore. You're probably not going to feel like cleaning up the basement. It's not a fun time. We could make it a little bit more fun, but in general, it's not super fun, right? Nobody says, I cannot wait to get in to that catch-all room. It's going to be amazing. No, we don't, right? So thinking I don't feel like it, or, you know, I'm just not motivated, it's not a good reason. And I want you to call yourself on it. That is just your toddler brain, right? That's the part of your brain that just wants to lay in bed and eat chocolate and, you know, and stay up late. It's just trying to get you to do that, right? That is the toddler brain. I have my toddler here, right? There's my toddler. This is to remind you that you do not want the toddler in your head, right? That part of your brain that primitive brain. You don't want the toddler making decisions, right? So when the toddler says, I'm feeling so tired, I really don't want to, you'd be like, okay, I hear you. Just like, okay, William, I hear you. You couldn't find me. Nice try, buddy. Let's go, right? Let's go get this done, right? A couple others that I have seen, my family messes it up, or my husband won't do this, or my kids won't do that, or it doesn't matter because as soon as I clean up, it's a big mess all over again, right? And okay, maybe, again, this is a story. This is a story that you're telling, and maybe it's true, but is it useful? Is it serving you? You want to tell a different story. Because I don't know about you, but that story makes me feel really mad. Like that story would make me feel really resentful and bitter, and like, I don't like that. I don't want to feel that way towards my home. I don't want to feel that way towards my family. So I don't want to tell that story. So what story could I tell? I'm working on my stuff. I've got to teach these kids how to clean up. Maybe the kids have too many toys. Maybe you need to have a conversation with someone. And again, not from a resentful place, but just from a, hey, you know what? Like, I would really like to do something differently here. That is way better than, oh, why bother? It's everybody else's fault that the house is, is the way it is. Just not a good story. Let's not tell those stories, right? Another one that we get a lot is, I don't know how. I don't know how, or, there's a lot of versions of that. I don't know where to start. I don't know how, that kind of thing. Guess what? We have got so much help for you. If you don't know how to start decluttering, I have good news, because this is the Decluttering Club, and we have the answers to all of those questions for you. Okay, I have pinned a comment in this video, and it links over to our shop. So depending on when you're watching this video and what we have going on, we have solutions for you. We will help you. That is my job, to help you figure this out. That is the number one job, is to help you figure out, where do I start? What do I do? How do I do this in 10 minutes at a time, right? These are not questions that no one has asked before. We've answered this 1,000 times, and you are not different. We can help you too, okay? So if you don't know how, turn that one around, right? Instead of saying, I don't know how, you can say, I'm gonna go figure this out. I'm gonna go try something. Maybe you gotta try a bunch of things. Maybe you gotta try 2, 3, 4 times. That's okay, right? That doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. It just means now you're learning and you're working on it, which is way better than saying, oh, I just don't know how. I'm not gonna go anywhere. This is just a lost cause. I don't want you to tell yourself this is a lost cause, because it's not. As long as you're willing to tell the story that is going to move you in the direction you want to go. All right, it's so important. Let's see. Okay, a couple others that I have on my list here. Oh, again, people keep telling me, we're in the middle of our OLAB launch, and people keep saying to me, I'm going to be away for 2 out of the 5 days, or 2 out of the 7 days, or I'm going to be away for 3 days. And I'm like, okay. So you're telling me that 4 days is no better than 0 days. Right now you have 0 days, right? You have not gone through my challenge, and you're going to be away for 3 days. 7 minus 3 is 4. You could still do 4 days of the challenge, and guess what? You could actually catch up. It's not a problem. But a lot of these people, they're like, no, I don't want to be behind before I start, and so I'm just going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. And I'm like, okay, you could do that. But, you could try, you might like it. You might feel so good, from those days that you do with us, that you get the whole thing done and you do way more than you expected, right? But so many people, they're like, nah, I can't do it. I'm gonna be out, I'm gonna be away. I work too late. Your videos are at the wrong time, right? They have all kinds of reasons, excuses, why they can't do the challenge. And they're missing out. This is the thing, like people, when we make excuses, we're only hurting ourselves. And I don't want that for you, right? So be aware of these things, okay? So don't tell me what you can't do, right? Don't tell me all the reasons you can't do this. I want you to be like BB, says can't is not in my vocabulary, right? Tell me what you can do, right? Maybe you don't have a weekend to declutter. Maybe you don't have 7 days in a row. No problem. What do you have? Okay, I've got 10 minutes here. I've got an hour there. I've got, I'm willing to try. I'm going to squeeze this in before work, right? I'm going to try this and see what happens. right? That is the new story, and that story will take you so much farther. Now your brain is going to be like, no, 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 we don't like this, right? Your brain is going to object. Your primitive brain is going to try and stop you, right? Because your primitive brain likes those stories, right? That primitive brain, that toddler brain, it really, really likes the negative stories, right? It's trying to protect you. It doesn't want you to get disappointed, right? It's kind of looking out for you in a very weird way. It's like, oh, we don't want her to, to get her hopes up, and then get partway in, and then it doesn't work out quite the way she wanted, and then it's all a waste, right? So your brain is going to talk you into that, and it's going to try and tell you all these negative stories why you shouldn't try, right? But you can't listen to that, right? It's so important that you're like, I hear you, I get it. You think this is kind of scary and new. You think I'm wrong. You think this is a little bit of a risk or a really big risk. It's okay. I've got you. We're going to do this anyway, and we're just going to see what happens, right? And you're going to use the logical part of your brain. We call it the adult in your brain. The adult is going to come along and say, it's going to be all right. I get it. It's scary. It's new. Just like I told my kid, hey, I get it. You thought you couldn't do it, but we're going to try it anyway, and we're just going to see what happens. And more often than not, it works out and we make progress. And that is the whole point, right? This is not about perfection. It's not about doing 7 days in a row, right? That is not the point here. The point is we want to be telling stories that support where we want to go so that we can get there, so that we can move in the right direction. This is not a once and done thing, right? You do not, let's say, become a member of my membership. You're there for a month and you learn everything there is to know, and now you're done and you never have to think about cleaning up your house again. That's not the way the world works. It's just not. It takes time, right? You have to build up habits, and you have to figure it out, and you have to become that new person. So this is not like a once and done kind of thing. And so we need to make sure that the stories that we are listening to in our heads are supporting that, right? And again, it's okay if your brain is trying to tell you this stuff. It doesn't mean that you have to follow that advice, right? Do you want to take advice from the toddler? Not so much, right? And y'all can get a little toddler doll or go find one if you want to put a visual on this. I think this is really powerful. Anytime you kind of try to give in, or you're tempted to give in to some of these excuses, you could just be like, oh, nice try. I don't think so. You need to go to bed. Someone needs a nap. And then you're good to go, right? And that is how we make progress, right? It takes a little practice, but once you get used to it, it feels so good. And that is why you see see some people in our community, and they're on fire and they're having a great time, and they seem to have unbelievable energy. Or when they don't, when they're not having a good day, it's okay, right? Like, they don't let that mean something like terrible, like they've just lost all this ground, they just couldn't get moving for a week. They're like, hey, it happens, no problem, no big deal. I'm just going to get back up and keep going when I'm ready, right? It is not a big deal. And that's because they've learned how to tell a story that is going to serve them going forward, right? So good, so good. Let me catch up on your comments here. Norma says, I'm decluttering craft supplies. Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. Terry said, miss you all and have been using your steps for a previous OLAB. Fantastic. Christina says, okay. Christina says, I just can't seem to make myself motivated. Okay, Christina, you don't have to get motivated, right? Stop telling yourself that. Nobody feels motivated to wash the dishes, to clean out the papers, to do any of that, right? Don't wait for that, right? Don't wait for that. You do not need to feel motivated to do something. Sometimes we just need to do it anyways, right? And so in that case, what you can ask yourself is, okay, what is the next step for me here? If I was feeling motivated, what would I be doing? Okay, I would do the laundry. I would find 10 shirts to, take to the thrift store. I would do the dishes. I would wipe down the kitchen counters. What would you do if you were feeling motivated? What is the next step? Not 100 steps, right? Not something great big like I would clean up the whole house. That is too big and that doesn't mean anything, right? You want to know, what is my very next step? And then you just get up and you do it. And you don't think about it, right? You don't think about it, and you don't let the toddler, you don't let your primitive brain talk you out of it. You're like, I hear you, I don't want to either, but guess what? This is what we're doing. And then you go, right? And what happens, this is the secret to motivation, frequently, just being up on your feet in motion, doing something, and it doesn't even matter what it is, right? Sorting through the mail, doing the dishes, putting away laundry. Doing something minor will get you moving, and you will actually discover, actually I kind of do feel like it now, right? Once you're in motion, you have to overcome that inertia, right? So pick something really small and just do it and see what happens, right? I promise you that will help. Diana says, papers, cupboards full of stuff. Yes, get into it, absolutely. Christy says, I love this, I'm OCD. Yeah, yes. Marty's asking, when is the next OLAB? So Marty, we are open right now for OLAB. So if you click through to our shop, it's declutteringschool.com/shop, or there's a pinned comment with this video. You can find the page for OLAB and you can join us in there. Be so good. Slow is okay, absolutely. Yes, I'm working on it, but it's so slow. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. All right, Sandy says, my mother used to say, why clean it? It's only gonna get dirty again, right? Yep. But we brush our teeth and they get dirty again, right? We take a shower and then our bodies get dirty again. Like, it's okay. Why clean it again? We clean it again because it feels good to have a clean place, right? Because it feels good to live in a house that is clean. We clean it up. Here's another reason. We clean it up because it is easier to keep it clean. And I'm talking exponentially easier to keep your house clean than it is to clean it up if you have a lot of stuff, right? So if you go through one of our programs, you declutter, you get rid of a lot of stuff, your house is so much easier to keep clean. And you're gonna feel better too, right? So you're not gonna, people think that people with clean houses spend all day doing that. And maybe some of them do, not me. I do not. I do not have to spend a lot of time because there's not a lot of stuff to work around, right? So I don't have a lot of dusting, there's not stuff to step over, I don't have a lot of laundry. We just don't have that amount of clothes. There's never a time, I'm not telling this to brag, I'm telling this that this is what you can look forward to. There's never, and we have 6 people in this house, give or take, and sometimes 10, depending on who's home. We never have 10 loads of laundry. It's just not a thing because we don't own that many clothes, right? So if laundry is a nightmare for you, then get rid of some of those clothes. That is how you make things easier, right? So that is why, right? That is why we clean it up. I suppose it's a valid question, right? But it does not feel good to live in a house that isn't clean and that takes so much work to keep up with. Okay, so this is my exhortation, I guess, for you all. Don't tell me what you can't do. Don't tell me why you can't do it. Tell me what you can do. Just flip it around, right? Just flip it around. I'm too tired. Okay, I'm tired and I'm still gonna do it anyways. I don't have any time. I don't have much time, but I'm gonna spend 10 minutes, right? Flip it around, tell me what you can do and see what happens. You might be surprised. You might surprise yourself. It'll be amazing, okay? All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We do this every Thursday, 2 p.m. here on the Decluttering Club Facebook page, right? Come join me again next week and have a lovely afternoon. See you later, everyone.